So I finally played Phasmophobia on PSVR2 and to my surprise, it's actually much worse than I have anticipated prior to launch. First of all, shout out to Kinetic Games who provided me with a press key, but obviously that's not gonna stop me from being critical and that's not gonna change what I'm about to say in this video, which is not going to be a review. I wanna make that clear. If you watched any of my previous reviews, you would know that I like to go in depth with my reviews and I try to cover everything you should know about the game. In order for me to do that, I would have to spend at least a couple of hours with the game, and unfortunately when it comes to Phasmophobia, I couldn't get past the 1 hour mark, and I'll explain in just a second. But before talking about my experience with Phasmophobia on PSVR2, and some of you already know this, but for those of you who are new to the channel, first of all, welcome to the channel, glad to have you here with us. I want to let you know that a couple of days before Phasmophobia launched on PSVR2, I put out a video in which I went through the features of the PSVR2 version, and as you can tell from the title and thumbnail, I was very skeptical to say the least. So it's important for you to know that I did not have any high expectations before I tried this game. And somehow I was still left extremely disappointed. That's how bad it is. And I'm not talking about the game itself, I'm talking about the PSVR2 version. Everyone knows that Phasmophobia is a great game, and now that I have finally played it myself, I can absolutely vouch for that. But the problem is the PSVR2 version sucks. Technically speaking, it's one of the worst games on PSVR2, and I'm not exaggerating. It's crystal clear to me now that the developers did not know what they were doing with this port. As a reminder, this game was supposed to come out last year, but then the developers came out and said they need more time. Not a big deal. In fact, I'm at a point where I actually encourage developers to delay their games. I don't care when you release your game, as long as when you do, it comes out in a very polished state. So they took an extra year and everyone thought that when Phasmophobia finally launches on PSVR2, it's going to be the ultimate version, and hey, you can't blame anyone for thinking like that. I mean OLED display, deep blacks, headset feedback, adaptive triggers, haptic feedback, eye-track dynamic foveated rendering. Yeah, PSVR2 should be indeed the ideal platform for a ghost hunting sim like Phasmophobia, and it could very well be in the future, but as of now, ironically PSVR2 gets the worst version. This is a VR game that does not look demanding at all, runs at 60 FPS using reprojection, and still manages to drop frames like crazy. Like I thought I beat VR motion sickness for good, and I did. I mean I can play any PSVR2 game for hours and not have any issue. But if I didn't stop playing Phasmophobia, I promise you, it would have made me sick. It's bizarre to me that Sony let this through. They're usually very strict when it comes to motion sickness in VR, so not sure how this is possible, but anyways. Frame drops isn't the only issue here because not only does the game run bad, but it also looks bad as well. It looks blurry, very soft, the aliasing is through the roof, it doesn't look like it has any anti-aliasing whatsoever, the movement is weird, animations are ridiculous, opening doors feels like a chore, interactions are very janky, you can literally run through doors, some objects might float around, and no, it's not because of the ghosts. And really, I can go on and on talking about everything that is wrong with Phasmophobia on PSVR2 today, but the point is, this game was not ready and should have never shipped in this state. I heard that it was even worse at launch where you couldn't even smooth turn when moving, but yeah, even now almost a month after release, it's still a mess, and I don't think things are going to change anytime soon. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Kinetic Games manages to fix all current issues before the year ends. Forget about haptics. Forget about foveated rendering. Forget about voice recognition. I'm talking fundamental issues, the bare minimum, as sad as that sounds, but yeah, that's where we are today with Phasmophobia sadly, and that's a shame, because underneath this mess, there is a great game that is absolutely a blast to play with friends, a horrifying nightmare if you play solo, a great game that is very unique and that is doing so many things right on a gameplay level. But unfortunately, Kinetic Games missed the mark here. So yeah guys, those were my thoughts on the current state of Phasmophobia on PSVR2. I think I made it very clear that I'm not pleased with this game currently, so if you're thinking about buying it, I would strongly recommend you hold off until it gets significantly better. And that's gonna have to do it for this video guys. If you're still watching, do me a favor and hit that like button. Let me know in the comments what you think about Phasmophobia on PSVR2, and for more PSVR2 news, reviews, and discussions, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Thanks a lot for watching, I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, take care.